Yo, welcome, welcome artists and our fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the spot where we talk to all your favorite Instagram artists about the trade, the tools, and we can't forget about the tips, baby. Today, I am your host, the real Zimzima, and we got an awesome guest for you today. On top of the awesome guest, I almost fucking forgot. This is year 3, or the beginning of year 3, with Chatting with Zim. So that is so fucking cool. Today's guest, it's Juliana Gabriel. If that name sounds familiar, then I will leave that up to you to find out who it is. She goes by the name of Jules Artsy. Pretty young, talented soul. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and see if she's in here. Yeah, that's right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. Josh for Kicks. What's Art Studios? Let's see. Thalo Halo. Actually, Thalo Halo was the first on here. Danny. What else? Who else we got? E4 Comics. That's what's up. And this thing looks like it's going to fall right behind me. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Request to join. So, Jules Artsy, all the way from Illinois native, right? It's from the Geneva side, Geneva, Illinois. Let's figure this out. Let's see what she is all about. And thank you guys for joining. Make sure you guys are following Monsters Art Clan and everybody else. Oh, there she is.
Hello.
Howdy. What's up, Jules? Can I call you Jules?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Don't be shy. Don't be nervous.
I've never done anything like this before, so it's gonna be new for me. But thank you for having me on.
No, it's good, and you got a great mentor right there by your side. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that a lot later in the show. You know what I mean? Right now, thank you for your time and thank you for joining the show. Say hi to everybody. Everybody say hi. Juliana Gabriel, Jules Artsy, Jules underscore Artsy to be exact. Um, you know what? Let's first off, how was your day? How was your week?
It was pretty good. I had my art bar show on Friday. It was fun in Aurora at the Two Brothers Roundhouse, and then I taught a painting class yesterday to a very cute little girl named Vivian. So that was really fun. So having a good fun week. Lots of art related things going on. What about you?
Um, busy, busy, busy. Um, Trying to make my life a full time artist. It's crazier than I thought, right? This is something that I preach, or try to preach. It's the whole business side, the whole of becoming an artist, right? A lot of people think it's just, hey, I'm an artist, I'm gonna draw and paint, whatever. No, 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 no. Don't cut yourself short, people. Y'all gotta learn this side, And I'm trying to take this crash course. So, shout out to the little brother Dylan Noose. He's the one taking me underneath his wing, aka the lawyer. So we're doing good. Just busy though. Setting up a new studio. But hey, that's neither here nor there. We are here for you, Jules. And right off the bat, you said a mouthful. You're so young, and you said you're teaching. You taught a class. You're at a show. So that's what I kind of want to get into. Being uh, as young as you are, and just being around the family that that's very artistic. I guess we'll start there, right? How is that upbringing? Because that's something like for me, being an artist, I've never really had immediate family like that. Parents being very artistic. How has that kind of influenced you?
Yeah, so if people don't know, my dad is an artist. He's Zalo Halo on Instagram. Um, and my mom is also a painter and does a lot of different artistic things, sewing, all kinds of stuff. Um, And my grandma is also a painter, so yeah, I grew up around a lot of, artsy people, I guess. Um, and so, yeah, it was something that just like always came natural to me, something that we were always doing together. Um, and so, yeah, it was also, though, sometimes it did, sometimes I did get critiqued a little bit on my art at a pretty young age. Uh, my mom is not one to miss, but she's a great artist, and all of were true. But yeah, so it was encouraging, but it was also I don't know, maybe a little bit, sometimes a little bit harsher than maybe most kids drawing pictures. But
Oh my God.
overall, it was really great, and it was really inspiring to see such amazing artists. Really inspired me to, begin painting.
Sweet, sweet man. That's awesome. And I mean, for anybody that's following you, if you guys ain't following her, then what the hell are you guys waiting for? I mean, drop off, just come right back. That's just a little tab up there, I think, for everybody on the screen.
Thank you.
And everybody coming in, just hold on one second. Gotta love that mute button, right? Excuse me. Yeah, where was I? Everybody coming in. I mean, thank you guys for joining us. You guys are in for a late night show with chatting with Zem and year three as well. So you're the beginning of year three, Jules. That's freaking awesome.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much, so much. I really do appreciate that. And not a bad way to start it off. I think last year, shout out to Notorious Pez. He started off our year too. So, great guys starting off the year right, right? That's how we do it. So, like what I wanted to say though was just if anybody has been following you and they see your style, oh my God, it's just like crazy. Look at that. And for somebody like you having coming from that parent background, as we just talked about, um I definitely see that inspiration and stuff, and that your parents also painters. Um so how did this get started for you? I know, when did you really like say, hey, this is what I want to do? You know what I mean? Because most kids are rebels, right? And they don't want to take after their parents. So uh
I guess I was kind of a little bit like that maybe for a little while. I was then in freshman year of high school. I didn't take any art classes before this. I was forced to take an art class because one of the classes I wanted to do dropped out. I think like the teacher, they didn't have enough people sign up for the class or something. So it dropped out, and then I had to take basically like art 101 in my freshman
mm,
school. And that's the first time that I painted really with acrylic paint and was like, oh, I really like this. Um, and then from there, I just kept doing more and more art classes in school, doing more and more art in my free time, and really like getting into it from then on. And I've been painting acrylic ever since then. So that was really the main catalyst.
damn. So you haven't really been doing it that long then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I probably started painting when I was like 14 or 15, and I'm 19 now. So
Jeez. All right, that's it. I give up. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week. I'm just joking. No, that's some talent right there, man. That's what's up. Um, what are your goals? What are you trying to achieve with this whole art game?
so I'm in college, but I'm not going to college for art. So it's more of just like a side thing for me, making some money and I'd rather do art than like a minimum wage job, and I make about the same amount doing art things and stuff. So it's just right now like a fun hobby and a fun way to make some money, save up for school. So that's really my goal, mainly just to have fun doing it. I don't really foresee being like a super professional artist ever. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely something I enjoy, and it's definitely like a family bonding thing. It's, we talked about before that all of us are doing these art shows together, and talking about art and commenting on each other's work and that. So
No, that's awesome. And I mean, it just shows it's a prime example of having the right support, right? And it helps out that they're artists as well. So that's a freaking plus. That's still amazing to me. That's something that's like oh shit, Um, but yeah, that's wicked. That's wicked cool. Uh, what are you going to college for again? I don't think I caught that.
yeah, I'm going to college for screenwriting, so like film, basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is it? And what got you into that?
I've always been really into writing, kind of more than I was into art for a while. I've always really liked writing, um, and I liked, writing different nonfiction and fiction stuff. And then I think it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, I've always loved TV and film, TV
Hmm.
really. And over the pandemic, I just started watching a lot of movies and started writing, and then I thought like, why don't I combine these things? I guess, and I was like, let me try it. So I just like taught myself. I read books. I listened to a bunch of people talk about screenwriting, who are professionals, and I just did like as much research as I could. And from there, I just started writing and wrote like every day, and have written every day for quite a bit now. So yeah, that's kind of how that started.
Wow, that's dope. What are some of like your inspirations as far as like movies go that kind of inspired you to take this route? You know what I mean? Like,
My favorite, some of my favorite movies, like I'm a big dialogue person. Like I really
hmm
writing dialogue. I really like the dialogue movies. I think a lot of Noah Baumbach movies have really good dialogue in them. He's like one of my favorites for dialogue. He did Marriage Story, but my favorite movie by him is the Meyerowitz stories. Um, and I really like um, no movies. Oh. I really like. I mean, you could see some of the movies I like because I've done paintings of people for movies. Because it's some of the stuff I'm interested in. So, like, I've done paintings of Midsummer. Like, I love Ari Aster's movies. If we throw it back, I really like Sunset Boulevard. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is probably like my favorite movie. So, yeah, those are some of my favorite movies, I guess.
that's sick. That is awesome. And tell your dad to tell him to be quiet. Tell him he had his time. He's had his time.
You had your time.
Oh, that's so cool. Aside from Instagram as well, where else can we find you? I know you have a T Public.
Yeah, I do. That's something I kind of started up. I need to make a website. I don't have one yet, but that would be really good to have information for doing lessons, um, about like the kind of stuff that I do. But right now, I just have Instagram. Probably very soon a website. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post about it when I do. But website coming soon. But right now, just Instagram.
Sweet, sweet. And well, that was a good beginning. But let's get into the favorites game. How about that? This is where we just learn about you and your favorites. Get to know you a little bit better. Um, no pressure.
Okay.
Favorite food, Jules.
Ooh. Mm. I don't know. Maybe soft pretzels. I like those Auntie Anne's pretzels a lot. Those are really good. Put that up there.
Soft pretzels. I like that. I think that's the first time anybody says pretzels there. So, favorite music. What are you kids into these days?
I mean, I don't think I really like the music a lot. Kids like maybe I have some overlap, but I like a really wide range of music. Like
Mm.
I like old music, new music, country, rap, pop, like all different genres. So it's kind of hard when someone asks me that question, uh, what to narrow into. Um, but I guess some of my favorites are like love Brady Carlisle, who's kind of like a country folkish singer. You know, I love Saint Vincent and Mitski and Phoebe Bridgers, that kind of like indie pop kind of sound, folk sound. Like,
All right. Good answer. Great answer. I usually everything except country is the most popular answer.
yeah, I don't get that. I like everything. I love country music. I love I love all kinds of music, rap music, country music, pop music. I'm a fan of all of it. So I don't like when people say that. Like there's good stuff in every genre, in my opinion.
True. Very, very true. Um, if you drive, or what's your favorite car or dream car?
I don't drive, don't know anything about cars, so I can't even begin to answer that question. So sorry about that.
Something with four wheels. No, that's cool. That's cool. Um, favorite artist. That could be living or deceased.
See, now that's one I could have a million answers for, because I'm a very big contemporary art fan. I could
Mm,
probably off a bajillion names right now. Um, uh, Barbara Kruger had I love her. She currently has a kind of like a retrospective on at the Art Institute of Chicago. That's really like the Chicago area. Do recommend that. And it was amazing. Um, I mean, if we're talking like kind of classic, famous artists everyone might know, I really like, Ed Hopper, who was famous for doing the Nighthawks painting, but has series, is, great. I really like, if we're talking about like modern people, like Carrie James Marshall, Kara Walker, Mark Ryden, Ashley, like Ashley Sherrill, Mindy Wiley, Mark Bradford, like I could, Damien Hirst, I could like keep going and like list
Jeez, the
names.
list goes on and on and on. That's
So
a tough.
I could keep going, but I'm a very big art fan, which is why I'm into it, and I respect a lot of amazing artists that are out there currently um, doing lots of great art. I'm a big fangirl of artists.
Sweet, sweet. That is dope. Um, current projects you're currently working on?
Uh, I have a painting right down here. It's of me as a small child on a motorcycle that I'm painting. Um, and so that's my like big like acrylic portrait that I'm working on right now. But I keep doing like those little flash sheets, which have been like a fun little break for me. I've been doing flash tattoo sheets on Procreate, um, which is to me just more of like a fun thing for me to do. It's a little less serious. Yeah, there you go. So right now I'm coloring that one in. So I would say that was also a current project of mine too. I was just doing that earlier, doing the color version of that one. So.
And these are pretty dope. I mean, are are you gonna start tattooing? Is that something
Um,
you're secretly trying to tell us here? Huh?
I don't know. I like tattoos a lot, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Probably not. Probably not anytime soon, at least.
No,
But
she don't like tattoos, Dad. None of that stuff.
what'd you say? Sorry.
We're like, no, Dad. She doesn't like tattoos.
Oh no, my dad doesn't care. My dad has tattoos. He's fine with it. He doesn't care.
That's cool. Great line work.
Thank you.
Dig that. Look at that. Some more Fantastic art. And these guys are podcasters, correct?
Yeah, yeah, they're podcasts that I listen to a lot while I'm painting, and so I just decided to paint them. I don't know. That's that shows you I don't really have any kind of strategy. I kind of or style or anything. I just kind of do what I want in the moment, what I feel like doing.
No, interesting. And with all these different types of styles, what do you say your favorite is? You know, which one? Do you like digital work? Do you like uh, painting traditionally? What's your go-to?
I'm a big fan of uh, acrylic painting on canvas. Just like I like doing a lot of portraits. That's
Hmm.
something like I definitely gravitate to. So that's definitely my favorite thing to do. I love doing fabric too. So anything that I could get a portrait with some fabric, that's definitely like something that I for sure gravitate to when I'm looking at like things to paint or what I want to paint.
Awesome, awesome. Um, Favorite part of the process?
Hmm. When it's done, uh, I don't know.
Great,
Um,
great answer.
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really like doing fabric. So anytime I get to do fabric, that's what I enjoy. That's usually like, one of my favorite things. Um, yeah, fabric and art are always like my favorite things when I'm doing a portrait to get to.
Nice. Um, Talking about portraits and stuff like that, do you I know earlier you said you started teaching, so we're definitely going to get into that. But before that, do you take commissions if people wanted something?
Yeah, I do. So you could DM me if you're interested.
Awesome. There you go. So if you guys are interested, hey, DM. It's amazing work.
Maybe
So
a Christmas present for someone. Who knows?
there you go. It's right around the corner. And we got Thanksgiving too. If anybody has any Thanksgiving birthdays, bam, there you go, guys. All you got to do is that little DM. That's it. Um, so being so young and teaching,
Mhm.
how did you get into that world?
Um, I mean, I I've done like a lot of teaching stuff through when I was in high school. Um, I taught a lot of like fashion related stuff, really involved in like fashion designing related things in high school. Um, and I taught painting too through like volunteering through National Art Society. I did like a camp over the summer for like uh, fashion related stuff. So where I was like teaching it. um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I did a good bit of that in high school. And like I said, I wanted to kind of do things to make some money, but also in a fun way that I like doing. And I like teaching. I have a little bit of experience with it, so I was like, that would be a great thing to do. So I've just started doing that. Looking for more people if anyone's interested. I have can do it virtually and in person in this room. Actually, is where we have them. So if anyone's interested, also like yeah. So I'm really interested to start to like get into doing that more. Teaching and also of like doing like portfolio review kind of things, like just
Yeah.
someone sending me art and me like critiquing it and like helping them out. Not that I'm like perfect, but I do have like a little bit of knowledge from taking a lot of art classes and being very into art, about like things like, you know, proportion and composition and like things that people who are just like self-taught might not know because I've taken a lot of art classes. And what do you want to say?
He's helped me a lot.
There you go. I, I got a testimonial right there. When my dad
They
says, "Yeah, I've helped him a lot with his art." I do always go down there and be like, this is not right. This is weird. This is this." You know.
that's
So
awesome.
um, yeah. So I won't be like that to you if you want to take my class. I'm not gonna do that. that
No,
pushes.
you have to be like that. That you got to be stern. You know, people gotta learn, right?
In high school. So my art teacher in high school is one of the top art teachers in the nation. Um,
Whoa,
while I was having her, she was, awarded best art teacher in Illinois. She's arranged a bunch of national conferences and stuff. So she is like, I had many kids in my class. Like, I'm pretty good. I was not the best person in my class, like by far. Um,
Hmm.
my class was very like in high school. I did like all the art things, and it was very competitive. A lot of people won like super high level national awards from my art classes I was in and stuff. So it was very the place where I was like doing a lot of art was very competitive. It was very like she was very cut and dry type person. Like walk up
Man,
she's not telling you what's good about it. She's saying this is wrong and this is off and your composition's bad and fix it. Kind of a person. She was very like, I am training these people to be national award artists. And so
exactly.
I just like have adapted a little bit of that mentality. Like, for example, I have this one here. When I look at this, I get so mad because I know that this side of the face, this ear is all wonky. This side of the face needs to be wider, and I just look at it and know proportionally it's off because I've just been so like ingrained to be like, don't do that. So I do have like, I think it's good though to have a little bit of that. Like it really teaches you to get that voice in your head of like, this is wrong, this is right, like strict on yourself. And especially if you're someone who's self taught, you might not have that kind of person in your life. And you kind of need someone like that in order to get better. Like
Mm-hmm.
under her teaching me, like I got drastically better. Like I came into her class like not, having taken one like art 101 type class, and then, now I'm where I'm at, basically just through kind of her teaching me, and a lot of that's thanks to, not always appreciated, but very stern, harsh kind of like mentality with art and doing things.
Artistic parents, award-winning mentors. That's like a recipe for a killer right there, you know? And that's exactly what you're gonna be. Jesus Christ. I'm jealous. I wasn't that good at your age. Shit. That man, Jules, you got some talent, man. That's and I'm not just saying that. You're very talented. Um what is something that you've learned recently that you could tell yourself when you first started?
Um, I mean, hmm. I think just like not being afraid to just like put the paint on there. Like I work with acrylic, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Like I'm very much a perfectionist, and as you could tell, I've had perfectionist people in my life with my art, and so I'm very much like worried about like doing things right. But I found kind of, if you just like do something, especially with acrylic, you can always paint it over, and if you go into that
Mm-hmm.
mentality when you're starting, it kind of takes a lot of like the nerves out of it. Like I've gone back paintings I did years ago and changed them. You could always change stuff if you really want to, but also, you do something and then you could move on. Yeah, like that I changed. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you definitely painted something that was no good. And yeah, made it your own. So that's amazing. I know he's proud of that, and yeah, I'm proud of you too. That is wickedly cool. Love the color palette on that. It just screams out, right? So that's awesome, y'all. One of my favorite pieces from you, I know, it's this one. It's
yeah, I have those coasters still. They didn't sell, so I put them in there was a Gallery 30. I did them for the coaster show that they had, which was a show where they just did all coasters, like little art like coasters that you put your drink on. Um, So yeah, I did a bunch of those just in colored pencil really quick for that, and they didn't sell. So if anyone wants them, you could you could DM me. I have them all. There's like a set of them, but thank you. Yeah, those were
Sweet. Yeah, I might have to hit you up for one of those. That's really cool. It's I don't know why I like that balloon dog. It's funny. I even have a little figurine somewhere in my figure collection, but it's cool. And you caught it spot on is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean with the reflections and everything. That's hella cool.
thank you.
Um, Also for anybody who's interested, well, anybody who just joined us, we're talking to Jules Artsy. That's Jules underscore Artsy. Juliana Gabriel in the house, in the building. Y'all know the deal. Uh, and you're have this mentorship where you teach others. If you guys are interested, uh, don't hesitate to go into the bios in their link and tap on it. Tap on that link tree. Everything else is connected along with some links for the Cotton Seed, T Public, and Ghoulish Mortals. Tell me more about you entering these galleries.
Um, so I mean, thankfully, I have a dad who was already in them, which didn't mean I automatically got in, but it
It
definitely
helps.
nice little in to be able to like talk to the person. Originally, I mean, here's a little lesson. Originally, I did stuff for Ghoulish Mortals, and she did not like it. Um, but then, a year later, I did different stuff. I got better, and then I came back to her, and I was like, "What about now? Do you want my stuff in your store now?" And she said yes. So, little like,
Nice.
keep trying, even if you get rejected, because
Yeah, yeah.
you come back and it works out for you a little bit. So yeah, I got through there because my dad was in there first. He has some Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror stuff in there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
some of his, it's not his paintings; it's his older like copic marker work. Um, and so yeah, so I was doing these paintings. I did some of them for Art Bar. The three, the Shining portrait of Wendy, the Get Out portrait of Chris from Get Out, and this one of Danny from Midsummer. And I did those three. And yeah, I asked her if she would be interested in having them. She said I'd love to have the Midsummer one, and that's how I got those in. So these prints I have right next to me actually are available there. Even though I did just critique this one part of the painting, you could just ignore that and buy it anyway.
Everybody just ignore that. No need to see that. It's funny because as an artist we're our own worst critics, right? And I remember I did a piece sometime earlier this year and nobody noticed it except my brother. And same thing, it was like a little baby ear on this portrait, and once I looked at it I just laughed because it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's neither here nor there, y'all. Everyone's gonna go back and try to find the piece. I ain't gonna tell y'all which one though. Um, but yeah. What about what's your favorite art piece?
Of mine,
Yes.
um, it's this. You want to hand it to me? I could show you. Maybe we'll see if I could. It's this one I did of my mother. Here she is. This is the spot that she always sits in the couch. You can see this is a corner of her painting. It's actually a huge, giant painting that basically takes up the whole wall of our living room. That's really, really beautiful and amazing. But you can only see this little corner of it in this painting. So I just took a little picture of her and painted it, and I really like this one a lot. Yeah, I think it's like partially just because it's like so sentimental to me. Like I'd never sell it for anything because I
Mm,
just like I don't know. It's just like of my mom. I have this one behind me too. It's also of my mom. I get a lot of paintings of my mom because she's like the only one who will let me paint her. So this is like an older picture of her from when she was actually my age, standing in front of the Art Institute of Chicago. So you can kind of see, if you want to see it better, it's on my Instagram. But I did this portrait of her that I like too. I like that one a little bit more. It's like a little bit more sentimental to me, but I like how that one turned out too.
Yeah, no, this is, there you go. Yeah. So that's some amazing stuff.
Thank you.
What about when you're not creating? What are you usually up to?
I mean, I don't know. I do a lot of art. I do a lot of writing. Um, Other than that, I'm just like watching a lot of TV. I don't know. I see my friends' regular teenager things. I don't know.
Sweet, sweet. Any special skills we don't know about? Maybe a crazy drummer, crazy singer, something like that.
Uh, no.
Are there hidden talents?
All my talents are out there. Those are my
Mm,
my two talents. So if that's not
there you
enough,
go.
I don't know what to tell you.
You'll be surprised, So sometimes people like to play, the spoons here live. I don't know.
Um, I
I'm just joking. Nobody's ever played the spoons here.
I mean, I like fashion stuff. I talked a little bit about that. Like, I'm really into that. I did a bunch of fashion design stuff while I was in high school. Made like a bunch of costumes. I mean, that's kind
Hmm.
of related, but it's kind of slightly different. Like, I don't have a lot of that stuff out there. A lot of my work was like costumes and stuff, but I spent a lot of time doing that, especially when I was in high school. Not so much recently, but yeah.
Yeah, cool, cool. What about like being a painter and then being brought up very strict and you got to do this, these are your flaws, you know what I mean? How do you challenge yourself with your next piece?
Um, I mean, I think part of it is I kind of have that voice in my head now of like my art
Mhm.
teacher. So even when I'm not in her, like I'm not in her class anymore or anything like that, I still have that voice in my head. But I mean, also I think that like a lot of artists have, like I just have like an internal thing of like I want to do better. I want to do something a little bit more challenging or whatever. That's why I went from like the smaller piece to doing bigger ones to thinking about like more detailed ones. Trying to do, like recently I've been myself because like I was kind of like, okay, I know I could do something like pretty photorealistic.
Mhm.
Want to like challenge myself to do something a little bit more like with an artistic creative flair. It's not just copying a photo because I know I could copy a photo. um Doing something, so that's what kind of got this background here. That's not just like I could paint just
Mhm.
a background, but I kind of made it a little different with different patterns going through it, more of a cartoony, illustrative look because I wanted to do something that was a little bit different and like push the envelope a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. And I'm also working with different mediums. Like I just started doing that stuff digitally. So that's been kind of a new like learning curve that I'm trying to like get myself to push myself to like practice with and learn.
Yeah, and it's your digital line work. It's great. And this is something I was talking about earlier with Bruce 13. And you could back me up on this or disagree with me, but my statement was that going traditional to digital is a lot easier than vice versa.
I mean, I believe that's probably true, but also I don't really have the perspective of the other way. But I mean, I think just like the fundamentals of just drawing with a pencil is kind of where you should start, period, before picking up paint, before doing something digitally. And yeah, that's kind of like how I view it. So I would
Hmm.
definitely agree with you. I mean, doing stuff digitally, I mean, it's definitely easier in some ways, harder than others. It kind of depends on like what kind of art that you're like looking to do. I think that different things fit, different types of art fit different mediums. Like if I'm doing a portrait, I'm not gonna do that digitally because to me I just can't manipulate the medium as well as I can. The different effects I could get with an actual and the different ways I could layer and mix actual paint to me are different than, what I could ever do. The kind of texture that this painting behind me has, the physical texture,
Hmm.
where you could go up and touch it, and I mean, don't, but you could go up and touch it, and you could see that it has like bumps and like I
The
like
texture.
looking at it and seeing that it has like a grit and a texture to it that you just don't get. But if you're looking for something very clean, very smooth, I mean, digital is gonna do that for you way quicker. So I think that that's also, something to look at if you're, I know that's kind of not your question, but something to look at if you're interested in doing it. Because it's, speaking from someone who's also like just figuring this out as I go and just
For sure.
that as I'm working on it.
For sure. There you go. Now when it comes down to painting, explain explain to somebody like me that doesn't ever paint ever in his life, the fundamentals of painting.
I mean, that's a lot.
Well, you let's you got 30 seconds, go. No, I'm just joking.
Like there's a lot like any art of its line, value, color, shape, pattern, things that composition, you know, these are things that whatever art you're doing, you should know basic color theory, basic whatever, like things like that, working with line and shape and etc. Um, for painting, I mean, I could go through kind of like my I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think for painting, you really got to master mixing color. Um,
Hmm.
my dad is shaking his head because he doesn't ever mix color. He just takes the tube and just takes his brush of the tube and paints straight out of the tube.
Hey,
That's not how I was taught. Like I said, I would have an art teacher who has in the past yelled at me for doing that. So we come at different things here,
it's
to
like, where did you learn that technique from? Nowhere.
it. Yeah, I mean, I guess basic things are like knowing how to mix color, like with paint.
Okay.
Color with paint is not always what you think it is. Like, for example, you mix white, it's gonna make your color cooler. It's gonna change the tint, not just the value. So, knowing how to balance tint and values and actually seeing color as it is, not just the color you think it is. I mean, that's a lot of art.
Hmm.
Because art knows, sometimes you think you see a weird little ear on the side and it's actually not where it is when you actually look at the picture. So, I mean, I think just a lot of basic art skills, but one thing that's definitely different if you're using paint is the mixing color aspect of it. I think that's like the biggest difference, but most regular art things, I'm sure you can paint. I mean, it's like literally anyone can paint, especially if you already have those kind of like art fundamentals down. I mean, it's really not that different, especially with acrylic. Like I can't even begin to tell you with oil where to start. I've never done it before, but
Hmm.
it's pretty similar.
Now, for in your opinion, from the fundamentals, do you think that there's one that artists should really focus on more than another? Excuse me.
Hmm. I mean, I think I mean I think one thing that lacks a lot in art is thinking about composition. I'd say composition and proportion, especially like I know a lot of your people are like fan art people who do a lot of people, like portraits, full body,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I think proportion is extremely important. I don't know if you guys know this rule, but there's the, split a person into eighths rule. Where you have a person, their head is the first inch. There's their arm is like a certain amount down. You could look it up, but there's like it's hard to just explain verbally. But
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like people are like 8 heads high or something like
yeah,
that, right? Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Okay.
one. But when it comes to proportion and composition, I'd say those are like the basic fundamentals that people should really get down. Like a lot of stuff could be improved a lot with just composition. I think composition is one that people don't think about a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and with that, I could just like throw out really quickly, like if you guys aren't aware, there's like the thirds rule, the big thing in film too. I'm a film person a little bit, so where you have a canvas, you do two lines that cuts it into thirds, and then you put kind of like your pieces that you want to like get attention to are gonna be naturally the eye's naturally gonna be drawn to the lines where the thirds are. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like an easy composition rule, but there's a little bit more to that. But I think like composition's one that people don't like always think about, I guess.
Okay, okay. You see, y'all hear this, artist? Y'all hear this? Y'all better write notes, man, because I know I am. Also, just want to put it out there for any artist who has questions, feel free to ask away. See if you guys could type it into the question mark bubble down below. And if you guys are currently joining us, I can't even speak. We are here with our guest, Jules underscore artsy. If you guys want more in depth, um, just art lessons. Go to her link, right there at the link tree, and definitely go and get them art lessons. You know what I'm talking about? Do you have any? Is it a limited amount of spots that you host, or
No, I'm open now. I mean, if
okay?
one obviously overlaps with another person and can only do it at that time, that would be a no. But I'm pretty open because I'm not in the school right now. So anyone who's interested, I'm pretty free, and I will be able to make time for you as I'm not that busy. So I'm pretty open.
Sweet, sweet. Um, Now back to what we were kind of talking at the beginning. I was saying that when people want to become artists, they usually don't know that business side. What have you learned from that aspect of being an artist that you pretty much didn't think about when you first began?
Um, I don't know. I think since I've done like a lot of research into contemporary artists and how they got their start, and also, my dad has been like very into the art business kind of side of things. I've always been like aware that that's a part of it, especially
Mm-hmm.
you know, like you're starting to be an artist full time. That if you're an artist full time, then you are an entrepreneur of your own business, and you have to motivate yourself to do things and put yourself out there. And you're your own boss and all that stuff. So I think I was always aware of that, thankfully, because I had a little bit. I've done a little bit of my research. I've also had someone, you know, who has
Mm-hmm.
who has taught me about that from a pretty young age. So, um, yeah, I was always kind of aware about that, but it's definitely true.
Sweet, sweet. Um, Now let's do a little 180. And here we have, usually for our first time on the show, uh, I have a segment called Josh's Tools. So this is where we kind of look at your tools, what you're working with, and that would be both traditional and digital. Um, let's start off with the digital first. I mean, what type of app are you running? What type of tablet are you using?
Um, so here it is. Whew, you can't really see; it's bright, but oh well. It's I don't know what is the iPad.
It's the iPad Pro 12.
iPad Pro 12-inch. It's my dad's iPad. so
Was your dad's?
yeah, so I've been doing like my Procreate stuff on there with the Apple Pencil, and yeah, it's on Procreate. So that's what I've been
Procreate.
And I've been
Nice.
into it a little bit, so not an expert yet, but getting there. And my more traditional stuff, I have lots of paintbrushes. I like synthetic paintbrushes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What type of like hairs on them and stuff like that, you
Yeah,
know?
synthetic, they're a lot smoother. I mean, it depends what kind of like texture you're looking for, but synthetics are
Hmm.
smoother. The rougher looks always going to be like a natural hair.
Is there a certain brand for brushes that you kind of lean towards, or is it just
I have no clue what brand any. Most of them are inherited from my mom, so I have no clue what brand any of them
okay?
are, or if they're even still a brand, because I don't know how long those brushes have been, around. These
Hey,
decades old brushes. So, same with this one. I have my palette knife, which was my grandmother's palette knife. So another thing that's like
that's cool.
three generations passed down, decades
Hey,
old. This is my palette knife I use. Um, and then for paint, I have a lot of paint. I like a thicker body paint, like a heavier body paint. They're much more versatile. I don't really have like a specific brand. I mean, I hate Liquitex. I have a brand I don't like. Yeah,
Liquitex is nice. I've messed with that before. I think it's I got the gouache paint though, so
yeah, I have a lot of different stuff, but anything that's kind of like a thicker a thicker body, I really like. Oh, this one's really good. What is this? American Journey. These kind of pants. These artist acrylic thick body American Journey is what they're called. Those ones are super good because I like the thicker the better because you could always thin them down with water, but you can't thicken up a thin paint. And they have better coverage too if they're thicker. So
nice, nice. Um, what about let's see, what else is there for tools? I mean, just brushes. What about like pencils and stuff like that? Anything you sketch with?
I don't actually sketch very much. Uh,
Okay.
I do a lot of straight. I have the photo, and now I
Hmm.
go straight to paint on the canvas. Again,
That's
what
cool.
I was taught, we're going back to what I was taught, you don't pencil on a canvas. You go straight and block out your shapes with paint. Like a burnt sienna kind of natural paint. Um, so that's usually how I do it. I mean, yeah, I don't do a lot of sketching. I mean, if I do color pencil stuff, which I haven't done a lot of recently, I mean, I have a lot of Prismacolors, but like if you go back to what I was using for like those posters, but I mean, I don't do a lot of sketching. I mainly just go picture to canvas or whatever my idea in my head is to canvas, and I just go straight in with paint.
Sweet, sweet. Um, so I mean, obviously, it'd be just dumb of me to say what's your favorite medium, right, to use, because we obviously know. Um, what about what about mediums that you haven't really used but plan on to or would love to try it in the future?
Um, hmm, I mean, I think it would be cool to oil paint. I haven't done it before. I think like my stuff would lend well to oil paint. Um, because it's a lot like more soft. A lot less. Not of course like the graphic stuff. There's different. Like we talked about before, different mediums for different um like ideas, I guess, or styles. But I think doing some of the portraits in oil paint would be fun. I also think it would be fun to like actually tattoo one of those tattoos, but
Yeah.
um, that one's probably a lot less likely to happen. But I think it would be cool. But yeah,
Yeah, on the journey that you're on and at the pace you're going, I wouldn't doubt that if you get there sooner than later. So, That's what's up. Um, are you into like superheroes at all and stuff like that?
No,
No.
sorry.
Okay.
Like your thing, but yeah, I mean, I have like through osmosis, like got a little like bit of superhero knowledge in my brain from my parents who are very into like all the science fiction superhero kind of stuff. And
Yeah. Yeah.
my mom is like a huge like science fiction fan too, but
Okay.
I'm not quite so much into that stuff.
No, and I don't blame you. I just had to ask the question because speaking of your father, I know he seen his artwork. You know what I mean? So he's into it. So I thought maybe it might have like rubbed off. You, you know, I was gonna ask. Let's just say for the sake of the show, you were into it. If you were to have some powers, what would it be?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe like mind reading. People don't like that.
Uh,
People are usually like, no. I always thought it would be cool. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to hear. I do. I'm very nosy, I guess. Or maybe like, oh, I want to hear what people are thinking. Uh,
That's funny.
so yeah.
Sweet, sweet. Um, Is there anything that maybe I haven't touched on that you wanted to speak about or mention?
um, let's see. I mean, I could talk a little bit if anyone's interested in like my process doing painting. Uh, So, like I said, I mean, I go in straight with paint. You know, these are very like, this is what I would say when you were talking about like basics of painting, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
part of that. So, I go in with like usually like, burnt sienna like color, and I block out my shapes really rough with paint, just like the outlines of everything. Um, and then, you go in and I like you block out like I usually like will then block out like giant sections of color. I mean, if you could if you want like an underpainting of like a burnt sienna wash or something, but I usually skip that. If you want to be real like artsy with it, you could do that, you know. But which of course will like usually in the end is a little bit richer, a little bit warmer, you know. But I usually then just go in with like the colors and I mean I don't know if I could pick this up. Can you see it? But I'm at the stage right now with this one where it's just like blocked in, right? So you could kind of see the lines where I like drew it with brown, and then I kind of blocked in the shapes with the colors, and then from there, I mean, I would go in and like start to add in values. Um, so just very basic values like where are your darks, where are your lights. That's another thing that's very important in painting. Is value or any kind of art. Um, so I
Mm-hmm.
usually do it and like exaggerate like this area is super dark, this area is super light, so it's underneath. Even if you end up painting it over, it'll kind of be there. I like to work in like a lot of layers. Um, and then I usually like in between these layers, I'll usually go in with just like white paint, and I'll do like washes of white. That's how I like to do it. I feel like it makes everything look a little bit more cohesive when the
Mm-hmm.
layers are over with white wash in between. And when I mean wash, I mean I'm sure people know this, but if you don't, I'm just talking about like paint that's like super watered down. Um, so yeah, then I'll have super light, super darks. I'll do a layer of whitewash. Then I'll go in and add more of the block out the shapes better and do another layer of whitewash. And then I'll do a layer of like really bright colors. Now maybe this is a bit
Mm.
much for people. That's how I like to do it. I like to work in a lot of layers. So I'll do like a layer of like super exaggerated color, like very colorful, like, and then I'll cover that in white, and then I'll finally paint the actual painting on top of all of that. So that might have been a lot. I don't know if I communicated that well, but that's I think for me, what my fundamentals are is doing a lot of layers, getting in your values, then making sure things have color. You just don't want a painting to be flat. Like I do the color
Hmm.
stage and the value stage so that it gives it more of a three-dimensional look with a clear light stage to give you that three-dimensional look with clear darks and lights that's at least underneath the painting. I think if you're painting, working in layers is always best if you want it to look three-dimensional. If you don't, it's most likely going to look flat. It's kind of hard to get a three-dimensional look with just like going in, I'm going to like paint and this is the painting. Now, I don't know if any of that made sense. Maybe it will, but that's that's a little bit more about my process with painting and like painting fundamentals, I guess. So
Well, well said. Well said. And it looks like we got a couple questions. If you're willing to stay an extra few minutes,
yeah, that's good.
let's see. One of the questions. Well, it's actually first time caller, first time. I don't know. I messed that one up. But anyway, Halo says, "How do you feel about painting over old paintings?"
Uh, I feel like you threw this question to sabotage me. Like I said, I'm very much a bit of a perfectionist, so if if it doesn't turn out how I want it to look in my head, sometimes I will go back to a painting I did years ago and change it. Ideally, should I do that? Probably not. I think it's best to do a painting and move on. I mean, you don't want to be working on one painting for years. Just do another painting and then make that painting better. You know,
Mm,
rather than working on the same thing because you're always going to get better and then you could always think of new things to add to it. You might as well just keep making new work and then you'll have like a thing to look back on and be like, oh, I got a lot better. um, but I do have a little bit of a problem with that sometimes because the perfectionist in me is like, no, I can fix it and there's good bones here somewhere in here and
oh no.
or like I can make it look like how I wanted to in my mind. And sometimes it works out, but I mean most of the time it's probably better that in general. I mean, maybe I'm telling this advice to me and to everyone listening to just move on, to not get hung up on trying to perfect old stuff.
That's a great question. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. Di Violetta?
That's my grandma. My grandma who's doing. Yeah, it's E. Coletta. I think colors convey emotion is what she said. that's a that's a
That's an interesting question.
yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of like the basic. That's kind of what you're doing with painting. I mean, what you got is colors and shapes, and if you say paintings convey emotion, of course, colors convey emotion. I mean, I think I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I even want to answer it, and I think they do. Grandma, I think they do. Uh, it definitely conveys the emotion in the colors, right?
Yeah, and you
You
can go
know,
check out her art too. She's an artist.
uh,
She posts all her stuff on there.
there you go. Shout out to Grandma Di Filetta. Hopefully, I'm not butchering it. But yeah, definitely give her a follow. And I think that that whole thing about conveying emotion, it kind of deals with like companies and stuff like that, right? When you market stuff like that. So like take there's a reason why there's so much red in fast food, right? So, but that's a conversation for another time.
Definitely part of it. I mean, you could use the same thing with painting as they use, you know, in like branding and stuff like that. That's totally what you're doing when you're painting.
Word. We got another one from a young lad named Thalo. He's asking, how do you decide on the subject to paint? That's a great one.
I mean, the last few have been just like I said, I'm pretty random. So I mean, like the last couple, like I just took that photo of my mom, or I mean these last two that I've done, this one behind me and the one I'm working on are just from like old photo albums,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So I looked through those, and I'm like, if I just see a picture that like stands out to me, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna paint that. Um, so yeah, that's how I figured out those. But I am pretty random. Sometimes inspiration strikes in weird ways, and then I'm just like, I need to paint this.
We got a question from Della News, aka the lawyer. He says, we all know you're better than Thalo Halo, but what are your future plans with your art?
I mean, I don't know. Just keep doing it while it's fun for me. I mean, that's kind of it. You know, I'm not like super serious like I said about like this my career in my life, but I definitely it brings me a lot of joy in my life, and it's a really good creative outlet for me. So I don't know, just keep doing it while I have fun and see where it goes. I mean, I'd like to put my stuff out there more. Like we were saying, I'd like to do more shows in the future. I'd like to do more stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. We'll see.
Sweet, sweet. Um, Thalo says you're not wrong. Um, about that whole you being better than Thalo.
Yeah.
That's the word on the street. So,
Mm.
we got one from Little Vinny's art. He's asking, "What's your favorite art to draw?" So,
Like you said, I'm not a huge drawer, but of my paintings, I'd like to focus on portraits. That's kind of my thing that I like doing the most. You know,
yeah,
usually it's like just like waist up and or like shoulders up kind of portraits. Um, yeah, you know.
for sure. I would say, thank you for the question, Vinny, and go back and rewatch the show. There's a bunch of great answers there. Um, here's another one, Bruce as well. He's asking, how has your dad helped you in your artistic endeavors? I think we've answered this earlier in the show. So thank you, Bruce, for the question. But go back and watch it, and follow Jules if you're not already. We appreciate the question. Yeah, and as far as any upcoming shows, is there anything in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, I could discuss all of my things I've got going on. I've got a lot of little things going on. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be. I do the art bar shows, so that's in Aurora at the Two Brothers Roundhouse every first Friday of the month. And they're themed group shows. So I've been doing those. Next month is a mixtape, so that'll be fun. I'll put a few portraits and have prints for sale there. Um, and then, I mean, I got, again, these prints of the Midsummer painting are at Ghoulish Mortals in St. Charles, which is a really cool place if you haven't been in there, even if you don't want to buy my stuff just to look around, because it's a really cool, awesome place if you haven't been in there, especially if you're like a horror kind of fan. Um, and then what else do I got? I got lessons, which we've been talking about. I'd really like to do more of that, and hopefully you could see through this interview at least a little bit that I have some maybe knowledge about art. So it would be really great if you want a portfolio review, if you want me to review your art, or if you want a straight up lesson, I could really shape it to whatever you're interested in. And I'm doing like all ages, all types of art, because I'm talking about like the basics, the fundamentals that'll really apply to whatever type of art you're doing, whether you're doing abstract or whether you're doing superheroes drawings or whether you're doing, portrait painting like me. And again, I have those virtual for $45 and in person at my house in Geneva, Illinois for $55, and you could DM me about that if you're interested. at Jules_artsy on Instagram. I have my Beers Guard show coming up. That's going to be next Friday. So there probably, and that's a really cool place too. Uh, and what else do I got? I got that T Public store. Haven't had much success there, but if you want a T-shirt of Midsummer or The Shining or whatever stuff I have out there, I have those portraits in like T-shirts and buttons and hats and stuff. Yeah, I think that's all my things.
Nice, nice. And you know what? There's there's a couple more questions, and I think these are gonna be the last two. Uh, One of them I'm just gonna read out loud. It says Delanus is asking how much would he charge for a painting of Thalo in the famous George Costanza pose. I don't know if you're a Seinfeld fan.
If she really wants a painting of that for real, I mean, you can DM me, but I don't I don't really know what to say to that. If that's something you really want, I'm sure we can make that happen.
Do you know what he's talking about though?
No, I
No.
mean,
Oh,
vaguely like no, but not enough to know exactly what he's talking about. No.
look it up. Look up Seinfeld show George Costanza. Your dad probably should know what we're talking about, but it's pretty hilarious. Um, and a real question. Shout out to Notorious Pez. He says, "Do you have a go-to paint brand or a palette that you enjoy working with?"
Um, I mean, like I said before, I don't really have a go-to paint brand, but I like any kind of. Oh, I'm looking at the picture. That's fun. Sorry, Dad showed me the picture of the post. Anyway, um, I don't really have a go-to paint brand. Like I said, I look through my paints, and the one I really like is called Journey, um, Working Journey, something like that. But any kind of thick body acrylic paint is usually will be good. Any kind of thing that says like artist quality or thick body or heavy body or something like that is usually what I like. And then for palettes, I mean, I could show you my palettes. I use these little things. They're like little. They have like a little side for just using the paint, and then I use the lid to mix on. So any kind of like little airtight container I use. Yeah.
That's cool. That is badass. Well, Jules, I know it's a Sunday. I'm not sure if you have school tomorrow, but I do appreciate the time and very grateful for you being on. I think you're definitely on your way to becoming a an artist assassin. So yeah, I appreciate the time. And guys, that is Juliana Gabriel, aka Jules_artsy here on the gram. Please go ahead and check out the link in her bio. It's the link tree, so you'll find things for her art lessons if you guys are interested. Make sure you guys sign up. Check her out at the Cottonseed, Ghoulish Mortals, pretty much the whole Geneva Aurora section, and soon to be across Chicago and then the world. Also, if you guys are interested in some of her paintings, check out her T Public, por favor. I don't know if I missed anything, Jules.
You got it all. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. This has been awesome.
Sweet, and you know what? It was a great way to bring in the third year of chatting with Zim. I do appreciate you and every viewer out there for joining us today. Shout out to you. Shout out to your pops in the background, even though you're better. I had to throw that jab in there.
Did you hear him? There you go. Yeah, congrats.
Yeah. No, but you're definitely well on your way. Amazing artwork. I can't say more than that. I mean, I don't know what else to say, right? Your artwork speaks for itself, and it speaks volumes. Um, Jules, thank you so much. for being here. And that's it, guys. That wraps up show 126 or year 3. This is just the beginning of year 3 for Chatting with Zim. Please go subscribe, follow not just me but Jules _ artsy as well while you're at it. Make sure you follow her first. Yeah, throw in Halo 2 in there. Why not? You know what I mean? Check out Monsters Art Clan. Check out Live with 7. Check out Dead and Laughing. These are shows. The Drawn Con Show. These are shows geared towards artists and promoting artists. So, Jules, if you ever want to get more promotion or more just your name out there, then hit up these guys or let me know, and I'll definitely make that happen for you. Super proud of you. I've met you in person, and great work, great quality work all around. And that's it, guys. That's the show. Jules, that's last parting words. Take us out.
Oh, pressure's on me now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, make art.
Yes,
Art.
make art, yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you once again, Jules. Appreciate it. We'll talk after the show. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. That's it. Come join us next week where we'll have the homie D. Hausner. He's going to have his Kickstarter happening on the 9th, so this Tuesday. Check him out and check me out. And don't forget to check Jules out. That's it. We're out, y'all. Later, Jules. Peace.